Okay, I got 1900 on Sunday, 12th of June, 2022. For those that are trying to connect via Zoom, please be patient. Zoom was a bit slow on my PC for opening up and still hasn't come up properly. But let's hear who's out here on 2 meter for check-ins. There's 6 OPS standing by. Alright, let's acknowledge ZS6 FPS on 2 meter and on Zoom, ZS6 SNY on 2 meter. Audrey on Zoom is up now. Don't know why it took forever to actually open up there. I must admit that was a little bit of a strange one this evening. So let's just have a look and see if this is going to work a little bit better there. Pierre, I don't know if it looks better, but I can only see myself. I can't see you, unfortunately. So I think I need to fix that and try and get it back to where it was and then see what's going on. Alright, any other check-ins? ZS6 OPS standing by. Alright, Adrian, yeah, I see you there. I must admit, I must clean my mirror here, but at least I can see you guys. I know I'm not on the radio, I'm only on Zoom, so hopefully you can hear me there. Just do a quick radio check there, Pierre on Zoom.
Bayo, I'm with you.
Alright, so you can hear me. Pierre?
Yes, I can hear you perfectly.
Alright, good stuff. Okay, 1904. Let's check anybody else out there for this week's Weekly Net. There's 6 OPS standing by. Hopefully it looks a little bit better with me working this way. Adrian maybe give some comment there. But I think you muted.
Yeah, I am. I like the shooting stars in the background, and you're looking straight at the camera now.
Yeah, I'm trying out this teleprompter that I built. I've still now got to clean the mirror because there's a whole lot of smudges over your face. Okay, second last call for check-in. ZS6 OPS standing by. Yeah, you know, that background is a starry night, so hopefully I've also managed to get rid of some of that ground loop hum, which I don't know what happened. I just hit my desk and it disappeared. Right, last call for check-in. ZS6 OPS standing by. I actually want to see the position, yeah, no. I've got to reposition it properly and get it right. Okay, there we go. Good evening, everybody. As I said, 12th of June 2022, halfway through the month of June, bringing us closer to the middle of the year. I trust everybody as well, and that everybody is looking forward to some of the cooler weather that's expected to hit us over the next couple of hours. I see Adrian's already starting to dress like an Eskimo. So let's get started. This net runs every Sunday evening from 1900 for approximately an hour, depending on what we do. It is originally designed specifically for radio amateurs who have an interest in emergency communications, but it is open to all radio amateurs. And of course, you don't need to be a member of any club, body, entity or otherwise to join the net. You most definitely don't need to be a member of any body, party, entity or otherwise to use any of the allocated amateur frequencies, despite what others might say, think or hope that they can achieve moving forward. And of course the only thing you need is a paid up ECRN license. It's the only thing you need, guys. So you're more than welcome to join us on the net on a Sunday evening, or use the repeater at any other time, regardless. That being said, yeah, been a bit of a strange week with the weather that thinks it's in the middle of summer and having cool summer days and all the rest of it, and then getting cold suddenly. And I must admit I've enjoyed my soup on a regular basis this week. And then looking at the COVID situation across the board, let me clear the timeout timer. Also needed to clear the throat. Okay, ZS6 IPS returning. So let's have a look very briefly at what has happened on the COVID-19 front during the last week. South Africa's figures, of course, have in actual fact dropped to around about 2,000 to 3,000 a day in terms of new cases on average. And the death toll has been averaging like 2030, although yesterday the number was down again. That could very well be as a result of the weekend having kicked in and the number of tests that were undertaken. Now, globally, 535,183,000 new cases reported in total. We are looking at approximately 4,700,000 new cases globally. So that number's also gone up a little bit. And then looking at the death toll, 6,309,000 as opposed to 6,298,000, looking at about 11,000 deaths globally. So we're definitely on a downward trend with regards to COVID-19. I recall sitting with Audrey on in early 2020, sort of towards the end of February, beginning of March. Just after the Johns Hopkins University had launched their dashboard, and him and I were sitting and analyzing all the red dots that were appearing throughout the world. And I don't think either one of us actually expected the numbers to go the way that they did. And of course JHU had to readjust their graphic and image display just to prevent the whole of the globe being covered in red, because that's ultimately what it began to look like. So we're definitely on a downward trend, and I think again, COVID-19 has not been eradicated. The vaccinations may very well be preventing severe illness resulting in death. So that one, we will only know in many years from now just how effective the vaccination was, and also the long-term impact of it and of COVID-19. So for the coming week, again, still just be diligent, people. Those of you that are listening, nobody except a medical officer can give you any medical advice. Let's clear the timeout timer. Okay, ZS6 OPS returning. So as I say, nobody except a medical officer may give you any medical advice. And that being said, it's just being diligent. The general rule of thumb is physically distance yourself, meet outdoors, wear a mask, and of course sanitize your hands. And I think that we're going to be in a much better, personal opinion, we're going to be in a much better position in the next 12 months. Probably this time next year, we probably see half of everything yet again, maybe even more from a reduction point of view. So let's hope that this one can come out. The concerning virus that is floating around at the moment, of course, is monkeypox. There's now 1,000 cases that have been reported worldwide, or cases that have been reported to the World Health Organization at least. So those numbers are actually increasing as well, and we'll just have to monitor that on the backbone of COVID-19. I don't think it, again, a personal opinion, would be as severe or as bad. It's not the first time monkeypox has been around, but I'm sure that the authorities will be able to deal with and cope with that one. Other than that, not much else to report. I know that I think it was the Philippines that had that that volcano erupting and, you know, covered the town in ash. I see that they're still suffering a couple of tremors and that, so the mountain is still doing its bit of a roar and all the rest of it. Something like 400,000 or 4,000 were evacuated, and there's been a couple of injuries and nothing major on that aspect. The big question now at the moment is what is going to happen with the cold front. I know that the South African Weather Service, by the way, only the South African Weather Service is allowed to do weather predictions and in actual fact give any advice or warnings or otherwise. The rest of us just have to follow what they say. We're not entitled to do our own predictions. That is in actual fact against the regulations. Just for those that are wondering, no, I'm not doing any predictions, but the question, and not but, I'm not negating it, and the question, of course, now that's been asked is what impact it is going to have on the Cape of Good Hope, because they are expecting severe storms, plus, of course, the cold front is supposed to make landfall during the course of this evening, and then, of course, they are also reporting snow in various parts of the country. So I think those of us in GP really need to buckle up and get moving on that one. Okay, there was a timeout timer. ZS6 OPS returning. That being said, as I said, not much else to report on this week. So let's see if there's any, or let's first check if Pia or Adrian have got anything that they'd like to raise or bring up. If not, I'll close the net by checking to see if there's any latecomers, and then I'll release the frequency. Any questions from anybody? ZS6 OPS standing by. Alright, so I don't know if that was Pia trying to key up here. If it was you, negative copy on you, you'd have to come back and talk to me on Zoom at the end of the net. Let's check and see if there are any additional check-ins. ZS6 OPS standing by. Okay, nothing else heard. Great, thanks everybody for listening. Please don't be so shy. Rather check in, call in, let us know you there, and all the other good stuff. For this week, as I said, please don't forget to physically distance yourselves from others, meet outside, wear a mask in public, and sanitize your hands on a regular basis, which reminds me, I should do mine, especially after I cut myself on some pretty sharp perspex. Yeah, just in the general sense of the word, be safe, be prepared, and of course be happy. ZS6 OPS releasing 145.625 for general use. Cheers all. Yeah, I actually did a quick grab of the microphone because last week's video, when I sat back like this and I was talking with the microphone over there, I realized that my audio had dropped by at least 70% and nobody told me about it, so it became very noisy, especially with that ground loop that I had. But now that I've started to make these changes here, and you know, now I'm looking at that desktop and then I'm looking at that desktop like I was doing just now, but when I sit and I look at you guys, it's even better. And I think what's really going to be beneficial is having the teleprompter script for specific other tasks that I've got in mind. I think that's actually going to pan out quite nice. I've just got to get accustomed to working in an upside down aspect, So I'm just moving you guys over here to the right side so that I can just have a look at this. You know, now I've got the teleprompter, just to give you an idea, sitting on the screen. I know this one's got a voice control over it as well, but it's also got an auto scroll. So I'm going to have to do a bit of practicing like this. That says teleprompter software allows you to read your lines quickly and without mistakes. Choose between automatic scrolling and voice activated scrolling. You see, now it's too fast, I can't keep up. Oh dearie me. So the question now is, how do I stop it, especially when I can't see where the hell I am? There we go. So yeah, I'm having fun in games here. Let's put you guys back into the camera view. There we go. Right, unmute. Pierre, what's up your side? What's new?
Nothing really new. Yeah, everybody's talking about the cold everywhere, but here in Midrand, where I am, it is actually not that cold.
Yeah, I walked into the office and it was a bit chilled, and I turned the heater on. But I had some arsehole sitting next door blowing his hooter. Let me just have a look at something. I think I've still got the Zoom recording going on here. Let's just stop that recording.